Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
Hi, everyone. You listen to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. I'm joined today by our editor, Jace Lejeune. Man, what a day. Today's show is going to be pretty – I hope people love it because really determined to help these kids and these coaches. And I live in Baton Rouge, as you know. Jace lives in West Baton Rouge, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And even though it's – you got to be careful. I traveled 6 high schools yesterday.
That's a lot.
On the North Shore. And I didn't just fly in and leave, and you know this. I mean, you got the recordings. We recorded 6 high schools, coaches, players, had to call these coaches, set them up. Thank you, coaches, by the way. We're going to play one of them today, which is Lakeshore. And we'll let the other coaches know when we play. And we can't play them all today. It'd take 5 hours.
Oh, yeah, right.
Plus, we need some shows, right? So
yes, for later on.
And it was good meeting all the kids in person and the coaches again. Some new coaches I've never met, like Philip Pygott at Pope John Paul. Nice guy, man. Came from Biloxi High School. You'll hear the interview next week. Slidell, Scoble. He's always been a great guy.
Right.
And Salmon, Cotrere, just great guy. Been there for 19, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Met the baseball coach at Salmon. Just Pearl River, Mike. Great guy.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
And just every school we went to, I meant me and my car.
Right.
But
and they're all starting schools, so it's about that time for them to really get ready for football season.
Yeah. And Jace, the kids are pumped, and I think they're better than last year. It's not as – they're tired of wearing the masks. Just sharing this with our audience, but we are too, right? But they're better, mentally, I see, which is promising. I see kids being able to go through this past spring. And you can tell, they're happy to be practicing. I went to Salmon's practice yesterday, and they were just so happy. And I was happy to be out there, going finally in a football practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And you can tell the coaches are pumped, and the kids are happy, and they're glad to be there with their teammates, and they're glad to not be, in the house. And I'm just – holding my fingers that we're going to continue this, and I think we will. It's way better than I think it was a year and a half ago when there was so much unknown.
Right.
There was no one was vaccinated.
And we went through it last year, and this year we know what to expect, and these players and coaches have been through the routine before. So, things should be back to normal this year.
Well, Lakeshore, Craig Jones was really accommodating to me, and I want to thank his coaches. And I'm sorry if I got there at 6:50 in the morning. But I had nowhere to go, and they were very accommodative. They actually, went in their coach's office. Everything was safe at all these schools, and was able to meet a lot of their kids, Jace. Megan Gettys, their female kicker, 3-year starter. A lot of people are going to say, man, is she good? She's really good. She's legit, and you're going to be able to hear her. We interviewed her, and she's made 90% of her extra points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's
one of the top soccer kickers in the state. She was up for Player of the Year in the North Shore area for soccer, and she's impressive. I met her. She is, dialed in, man. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to meet Jaden McCall, who's a good-looking senior coming up at Lakeshore. Obviously, the third Bernard, Ryan Bernard. Man, what a character. He's a good kid, committed to Nicholls State. His brother – Bernard is at Jacobs at ULL.
Right.
His other brother is at Nichols already.
Yeah, he's a star at Nichols. So
great family, great kids.
Great football family.
And then Josh Ray, Josh Ray is a running back. Excuse me. Always bring water when you're doing a show. So Josh Ray is a stocky 200-pound running back that's really come on. So, I met Josh Ray, who's a sleeper senior, 200 pounds, 5'10". Good-looking kid, Jace.
Yeah.
I think they got a really good team at Lakeshore. I think Coach Jones, he's pretty laid back about everything, but he was really excited about what they could do.
Yeah, and this is a program the last couple of years we've seen it before. They've been in the dome. They've been in the semis and always made deep runs in the playoffs, going undefeated in the playoffs. So Lakeshore, and they're relatively a new program over the last couple of years, but they've done an excellent job, and they've been in the thick of things in 4A the last couple of seasons.
If it wasn't for Neville and Ed McCall, they had 2 state titles.
Yeah,
2017 and 2019.
right.
And we talked about that on the show that you'll hear today, but I mean, it's hard to beat 2 college football teams that have high school teams, right?
right.
Ed McCall's got, Coach Bryce Brown's just got it going on over there.
Yep.
I mean, that place is not slowing down anytime soon. In Algiers, Ed McCall.
No.
And Neville's not going anywhere.
No. And you got Warren Easton, and it's.
And you got some great programs like, Benton and North DeSoto. They just can't, when they have to play Warren Easton. Tioga. I mean, Tioga probably would have been state champion in another state.
Right.
God, yeah. It's great football in the state.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to go take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Lakeshore High School in our interview, my interview with Craig Jones, the head coach at Lakeshore, and his players that we mentioned just now. We'll be right back. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. I think you'll enjoy this interview that me and Jace talked about with Craig Jones, the head coach at Lakeshore High School, and Mandeville, and also his top players. Check this out. I'm here today at Lakeshore High School. I've got to admit, I got lost. It's, maybe because I was on the road at 4 o'clock this morning, coming from Baton Rouge. I'm glad to be here, Coach. Glad to see you again.
Oh, look, I'm glad you're out here. We always like having our kids come in and get a little bit of exposure.
Last time I saw you here personally, I've watched your team since, but I was here in 17 when you were playing Neville.
Yeah.
And I remember, we got one of the brothers here, but Jacob Bernard was here. All world, and your team just had that chemistry. And it was cold. It was cold that night.
It was cold. That was a good night, though. That was one of the defining wins that we had early on in this run that we've kind of been able to go through. So it was a good game to be here and see.
What's crazy is that William Campbell was actually a freshman on that Neville team who's being recruited now. Mm-hmm. And today we have a couple of your recruits here. I know a third player is going to come in a few minutes, but Ron Bernard. Ron,
yes, sir.
Glad to be able to meet you face to face, seen you on film, and
yes, sir.
You play D-line, but O-line. I mean, you do it all. I mean, I know you've played everywhere here. You're one of 3 brothers to play here.
Yes, sir.
And one of your buddies next to you. Introduce your buddy next to you.
This is Jaden McCall. He's nice to meet you. All-around guy.
Very experienced player as well. Y'all both going to be seniors.
Yes, sir.
222 guys. Coach, what do you think of Ryan and Jaden? I know Ryan just committed to Nichols. Very underrated lineman, tough, good feet. But what's your?
I think the biggest thing is in the last year or so as far as his leadership and his ability to kind of take control of the locker room and take care of some things on the field. And, obviously he's physically continued to mature, and we're excited that we have him for another year. He's going to be a guy that plays for us on both sides of the ball. And then Jaden, unfortunately, Jaden had his injury last year early in the season with his elbow, so we're very happy to have him back 100%. I know he was sidelined for a while, even after the season ended, as far as getting into his off-season lifting program. But he's going to be a guy that's going to play on both sides of the ball for us and all over the place on special teams as well. So I think they're both going to have a big impact. And then, along with them, we've got a lot of other seniors that have some experience that we picked up from last year that I think is going to benefit us.
Coach Craig Jones, and also Ron Bernard, and we've got Jaden McCall here, and also in a few minutes, Megan Gettys is going to be showing up, your kicker.
Yep.
Interesting story, female, 3-year starter.
3-year starter.
Missed 1 extra point, you told me, in 3 years?
I think she's got 2 or 3.
That's not a lot.
I think she's over 100.
Wow.
100 extra points made in the 3 years. I know her first year with us was 2019, where we had a really, really good offense. And, I mean, I think we scored over 100 touchdowns that season or something to that effect, or somewhere around 80, somewhere in there. And she was the extra point kicker for all of them. And then last year as well, and she's coming back for her third year.
You always have a team you got to replace every year.
Mm-hmm.
You always have 25, it seems, seniors every year. What's this team like for you? Every team's different.
Yeah, I've been asked a couple times on that. I feel like this team is a little bit more like the 2017 team in regards to that 2017 team had to go through all the injuries in 2016 when they were juniors. And that 2016 team wound up going 5-5, but we had everybody coming back. And then 2020 was kind of the same thing, bunch of injuries. You take the whole pandemic just out of the picture. Just the injuries alone really put a damper on our season. But we got the majority of those guys back. So I feel like there's a lot of parallels there between those two teams. And I feel like we have a receiver core that we have a number of guys that we can get the ball out to in space that can make things happen. Offensive line's got a bunch of new guys there that are going to have to gel. We got the majority of our defense returning, and the majority of our special teams kicking game coming back. So we have a bunch of experience that wasn't the funnest thing to go through last year while we were getting it.
Yeah,
but we have it this year.
And then Josh Ray, who may or may not join. Josh Ray just
He
walked in.
He snuck in.
He's filling out a form, man, for us. And I'm like, where's Josh? Here he is. Well, hear the pen moving. See Ryan looking at him over there and Jaden.
Right.
Ryan, talk about Nicholls State, man. You're pumped about their new facilities. I didn't even know. I mean, I've been running the state. I've been going high school to high school. I've been in Shreveport. I've been in Lafayette. You're like, man, they got new facilities. Tell everybody about the new facilities at Nichols. You're committed to them.
Yeah, they are building D1 facilities, and I'll put their new facilities that they're going to build against anyone in the FCS and a lot of the FBS teams.
It's pretty strong.
I'll ride or die with
You've
that.
seen ULL because your brother, Jacob, is over there. And they have nice facilities.
I think it's on par with ULL.
Whoa, that's big.
They are putting in serious commitment to their football team, and I really like that.
And a little bit of why you might have committed early to them, too, huh?
They have a great coaching staff, atmosphere. I went to a couple of games last year because my brother plays there. And it's just like that town is a college town. 100%.
Yeah. Completely changed with Rebo. I mean, he's
amazing head coach.
They went from like 2 wins a year to preseason picks to win it all every year in the Southland. And now I looked at their roster at Nichols, and Coach, I've never seen this before. And I said it on a podcast. They've got 12 receivers, and 7 of them have NFL ability. Now, this is a 1AA school that didn't even have a pro prospect 5 years ago.
Well, I think the other thing is, I could be off with the actual total number, but I thought like 95% of their roster was from Louisiana.
That's right.
Also,
yeah.
So I was
smart
school
recruiting.
That's recruiting here, where you got some of those other schools in the southeastern area, southwestern area, who are kind of dipping to Texas and Mississippi and Florida a little bit instead of just taking the home talent.
Yeah, and they're realizing an hour or two away kids don't leave as fast. They'll hang in, and they won't quit. They like their Louisiana buddies.
It helps your attendance.
That's right. Well. Yeah, tickets, sell some tickets. Jaden, talk about your season coming up. You overcome some injuries.
Yes, sir.
You're
I'm
healthy
very
now
excited for this season. Last year, I came in I was a new kid here, and I was looking forward to do stuff, but unfortunately I got hurt. But this year I've been working hard. Me and Coach been pushing me all summer. They moved me around to different positions. I'm just ready to help out the team and just go win some games and just do our part.
Tell everybody that's listening the positions you play for the team, your height and weight, that kind of stuff, so they'll know who you are.
5'11", about 170, and right now I'm playing wide receiver, safety, a little bit of cornerback. I mean, for some packages I play QB too, and I'm trying out punting.
Oh, there you go. I punted a little bit in high school.
Yes, sir. And then special teams is kick returner, punt returner.
Coach would agree. Hang time.
Yes.
Get some good hang time.
Absolutely.
Don't let the ball get there too fast. But to your right, your buddy Josh Ray, man. What you think? Senior year's coming up. You're running back.
Yeah.
You gonna eat up those yards for the team, or?
Yeah, I'm very prepared for this year. I'm very excited for this year too. See what it brings. Because we got a lot of people coming back, you know.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, you're a compact guy, 200 pounds almost, or right at 2?
185.
185. Close. You might
Yeah.
be there come September. You never know.
Yeah.
So what's your style of running?
I'm more of like a power back, you know. I got a lot faster over the summer.
Okay.
I came a long way.
Josh has done an extremely good job from the end of the junior year to now to really transform. He's put on a lot of good weight and gotten rid of some of the other weight that he had on there from last season, and it's improved all of his lifts, all of his times, and any of his 40s, his pro agility and stuff like that. So I think he's lined up to have a good season.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have more of Lakeshore football with Craig Jones, Coach Jones, and his players, Megan Gettys, Jaden McCall, Josh Ray, and Ryan Bernard. We'll be right back. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Madine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors. Welcome back. You listen to Sports Scouting Report. I hope you're enjoying the interview with Lakeshore High School. And I met a few of the assistant coaches that day. Want to continue with the interview. Here's more with Craig Jones, the head coach, and Megan Gettys, the kicker, Ryan Bernard, Josh Ray, and Jaden McCall, some of their top seniors. Check this out.
I don't know if Megan will get here on time, but we did get her in. We got her part of the show, and schedule's tough, man. Y'all play A-Meet, y'all play Pearl River. Stat guy, huh?
Especially when it comes to wins and losses.
I like that. It's something about the linemen, the O-linemen. They're
Yeah.
always into the stats and analytics. That's good, though. Y'all got to call the plays, man. Y'all got to get formations. What about pulling for college? You pretty good pulling, Ron?
Oh, yeah. That's the main thing we did my sophomore year.
6'2", 270.
Yes, sir. 6'2", 270.
Football speed, you're like your brother. I mean, you're like the lineman version of his 190-ish, you know. I mean, you're not the 4.4 like your brother, but you're very fast for your size.
I caught the 4.9 at Southern Miss.
4.9?
Yes.
At 270?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's
He's
rolling. That's fast. Might have somebody. Oh, I think we got Megan walking in. She made it.
Sorry.
Okay, well, maybe we get a chair and get come in real close.
Make some room.
Come in real close, and we'll do this off the fly. It's okay. It's a podcast. Megan, I'm Lee Brecheen. Come up just a little bit so we can hear you on the deal. But we're taping a podcast, and we want to make sure we included you and talk about the coach was bragging about all your extra points, how you haven't missed many over 3 years. What do you like so much about football? I mean, this will be your 3rd year as a starting kicker.
Just being around all the guys and just being able to kick. I mean, just coming to practice every day is like, it's fun. You know what I mean? It's not like just boring, and I actually want to work. You know what I mean? So.
Your first year, you want to prove yourself,
Yeah.
obviously, real fast.
Yeah.
Do you remember those first kicks when you came out here?
Yeah, I was very nervous, and I don't know. The first one was okay, but then when I started getting used to it and stuff, it got easier. So.
Field goals, where are you most comfortable with field goals?
As of right now, I kick the 45 at practice,
Whoa.
but I mean 35 and in, I can definitely hit.
They said you're a heck of a soccer player. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
What position are you in soccer?
Attacking mid, but I played forward for high school though.
Okay. Throw a little pass on a fake if you needed to for coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we run the fake square, we throw the ball to her. So
Yeah.
she's
I actually got a
she's got a 2-point conversion.
Come on. So you can
Was it your
run
sophomore
too.
year?
Yeah, sophomore
It was
year.
her sophomore year. We
Against
threw a
Pearl River.
2-point
No
conversion.
kid. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's pretty neat. Was that the first in the school history, probably, or one of the?
I'm sure it was.
I mean,
It's a pretty. I mean, I've been here every year except for the first 2 years, so it hasn't happened. Unless it happened those first 2 years, I wasn't here. It's the first.
I want to go around real quick before we end the show. We'll start with Josh, but throw out a couple of colleges that come to mind that you like. You don't even have to have an offer. I mean, just who'd you grow up liking?
LSU.
I was LSU.
They're 1 and 2. I grew up in Baton Rouge, so I'm not going to argue with you. So I mean, I grew up like 10 minutes from LSU.
It was LSU, and then I had Alabama on the line, and then like once I saw Tyrann Mathieu at LSU,
you were hooked.
Yeah, I was hooked at LSU.
Now, if your LSU coach is hearing this, would you do a preferred walk-on if you don't get anything at LSU?
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
because that's how it works, right?
Yeah, definitely would.
And you grade, you're a 3.0 student, so hey,
Yeah.
Megan, what colleges come to mind for you?
I'm not sure yet because I'm still trying to get a scholarship though. But I really like Northwestern.
Natchitoches.
Yeah, I went up there to visit and I really liked it. They had a new coach, so.
It's a nice town. Coach Laird's a coach. I like it. I go there a lot. Jaden, what do you?
I'm like Josh. I like LSU, but also I guess Texas.
Texas. No, those are broad, right? The Longhorns are now coming in the SEC.
Yeah,
What do you think
he's
of that?
staying in the SEC now. So.
What do you think of the Longhorns being in the SEC now?
I mean, it's gonna be tough for them.
Baseball too, so.
Yes, sir. I mean, the SEC is a totally different breed. So I mean, I'm gonna like to see how they like play.
Yeah, I want to make
they,
sure
fit in.
And obviously Nicholls State, Ryan. I mean, you're committed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up liking a certain school though?
Grow up, probably LSU like them.
Okay.
But now it's definitely Nichols.
Did you take your official yet, or you did an unofficial?
I did an unofficial, but I've talked to the coaches a lot, probably once a week, maybe sometimes 2 to 3 times a week.
Who's your position coach at Nichols recruitment?
Coach Lee Roussel.
Lee Roussel,
yes. Yeah. Rumble, and then now he's at Nichols.
Louisiana guy.
Very much so.
Lutcher before.
Lutcher, yeah, Lutcher High School, man. Home of Jarvis Landry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping the Browns can finally get to a playoff game. What's it been like, Craig, like 25 years since the Browns have been in playoffs?
Forever. Yep.
And Odell Beckham, can he come back and not celebrate as much, maybe catch more balls?
No, you never know.
Megan, who's your favorite kicker that you look at, maybe college, NFL? Do you have one?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, Saints kicker, but that's about it.
And
Not really.
And the punter's new at the Saints for the first time in 18 years.
That.
Yeah. Josh, favorite running back?
Oh, they all know this. Barry Sanders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Man.
Josh always walks in and goes, "Hey, you think I'm fast as Barry Sanders?" I'm like, I don't think you realize how fast Barry Sanders really was.
Are you the speed of light? No.
No, I'm not fast, but I'm pretty.
I like you like the old school back, the guy that was before your time. You know, it's pretty neat.
Barry, and then you got LT.
Jaden, who do you like player-wise?
Player-wise?
Pro or college?
It's tough. I mean, I liked Patrick Peterson when he was at LSU.
Yeah, I still think he got robbed of an interception at Alabama, right, Craig? Before instant replay, they showed the replay, but he had 2 feet in, and they're like, nope. I'm like, what? Ryan, who do you what lineman out there that you just think's the greatest?
Colts offensive lineman,
Nelson?
Quentin Nelson.
Oh, big Iowa guy. Isn't he from Iowa, I think? No, Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
110% him.
He's pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
And the Colts, man, it's like you don't even know who the quarterback is anymore since Luck retired, right? Since Peyton Manning moved on.
And then Wentz got hurt. You know, Wentz is
that's
Wentz
crazy.
there and he hurt his foot, and then I don't think he's going to be back for the start of the season.
Reggie Wayne was with them from New Orleans. It's like when all those guys retired, we kind of like forget about the Colts.
Right.
Right. I mean, there's no Matthew playing for the Colts right now. Right?
No.
Bob Sanders played for him at one time. He was pretty good.
They might not know who
you
Bob
don't know
Sanders
Bob
is.
Sanders?
He's from Iowa. He was good.
He was your height,
really good.
but he hit like Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, but he always got hurt because he hit like Troy Polamalu.
You
was
know
always
that
dealing
is,
with injuries.
Yeah, I know Troy Polamalu.
So, appreciate y'all letting me come out. Megan, I know there's a form we need you to still fill out. I'm glad you made it. And good to talk to Jaden, Ryan, Josh, Coach Jones. Any last things to say with all the coaches here in the state and all the other recruits about the season? Any final words, Ryan? You got something to?
Go to Nichols.
He's recruiting He's recruiting.
That's what you're supposed to do, right? Once you made your
coach is gonna coach from Nicholls State. Rebo will love you even more now, because this is making him drink his coffee when he hears this in the morning or whenever he hears it.
Yes,
I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you letting me come by. All right. Thank you.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to end the show, and me and Jace will talk about the magazine in just a minute. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company, located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Welcome back. I want to mention before we end the show, Jace, prayers go out to a young coach from Central,
Right.
Who shockingly is died the other day, and I want to just prayers to his family. You had told me about it.
Yeah.
Today.
Definitely, and it's a shocking thing. And I mean, he was a young guy in his 40s, and especially when you're young, you're involved with coaching, you're involved with the kids, and it happened to end with COVID. I mean, I feel really bad for him and his family, and our prayers and condolences go to Brandon O'Neill, was the young man.
Central High School.
Talk about Central High School, and Coach Alexander,
CJ. Oh, yeah.
We lost him as well, so it's been a pretty tough week for the coaching community in Louisiana.
And 2 weeks ago, Sonny Jackson.
Yeah, Sonny Jackson.
So a lot of legends, man. Just prayers to all the families out there and to this young coach at Central.
Right. And, of course, you talked about and you mentioned, but Bobby Bowden, too, was a coaching giant. One of
my favorite coaches growing up as a kid. Right. I was a Florida State. I wouldn't say I was a Florida State fan. I was a Bobby Bowden fan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I mean,
right.
Some people are like, Seminoles, right? I'm more like, I was a Bobby Bowden fan, and Bobby Bowden to me was Florida State.
Yeah.
He built it from a piece of rock to what it is.
A powerhouse.
And now it's not there right now, but
no.
But man, he was like the Saban of the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Early 90s.
I don't know, it was like 15 years in a row or something. They were top 5 in the AP top 5 poll, which is an incredible run, what he was able to do.
34 years at Florida State.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's remarkable. You will not see that again. Saban won't even hit. I don't think Saban will get 25, but he's got a chance to get 20, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Lord help the rest of the country if he stays for 34 years.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody wants to see that coming up.
We're going to talk about the magazine, Jace. It's at the printer right now. It's our 25th year. Lot of stuff in it. Me and you've worked hard again with us, and the interns worked hard, and I worked hard. Dolores Thompson, my mom, Carl Thompson, everybody involved. Carl Ricardo, our designer, who's in Houston. Give a big shout out to Carl Ricardo.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the magazine? I mean, we got a lot of recruiting in there, as always, a lot of the pictures of the kids. We got a north and south copy. We got digital. Right. Any thoughts about it? I mean, we're going to get it in about a week, the magazine.
Oh, I can't wait. And, if you're out there, parents, kids, family members, I mean, we mentioned 315 high schools. We talk about 315 high schools, and we talk about all the colleges coming up. And like you mentioned, we have a recruiting section, and we actually got the chance to really expand on that and really go more in depth and mention more kids. And this is a very deep year, obviously, for talent in Louisiana. And we want to mention those kids because we all know the 5 stars, the 4 stars, but there's a lot of hidden gems behind them that can find their way at the Division I or maybe 1 AA levels.
And in our recruiting deal, what we started 4 years ago, Jace.
Yep.
We've got their hobbies in the capsules, which I think people find. You get to learn about these kids.
Right. You get to learn more about the hobbies, not only their hobbies, but some of their interests, what they want to major in, what they want to do, because football lasts only as long as you may want it to, especially if you're like a big Division I guy. It only lasts for so long. Yeah. So it's really good to see what these kids' mindsets are at this age.
And a lot of them had interesting stories. Like some kids said they had family in Europe, and some of them sang, some of them played the trumpet, some of them played the piano.
Right.
It's really neat.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Instead of saying 40 time, height, weight, 40 time, vertical jump.
Right.
We have that too, some of them, but
Yeah, we have like top recruits, what their top schools
Yeah.
are at this time, and keep in mind, a kid might be committed to a school,
Right, and it
then
changed by the time it's printed.
Yeah, so but
and
at the time-
also we can't control kids quitting or not playing anymore from 3 weeks ago. It's
Right.
been at the printer for 3 weeks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A magazine like this takes about 3 weeks to print. It's just something we don't control.
Right.
And it's shipped out of state back to Louisiana. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that changes in 3 weeks. Heck,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was at 6 high schools yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and there was already like 10 new kids at 5 schools.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I got to change all this again. But hey, it just happens.
It
But
happens.
we're probably the most up to date magazine because most magazines come out in July,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really, really outdated.
Right.
But this is probably the most updated you'll see. Some coaches also might have resigned before we went to the printer.
Yeah. There were some coaching changes. For example, let's say like West St. John's coach that stepped down right when we were putting it out, and they just hired a coach, but
Right.
the name of the coach is not there because the
Right.
timing of everything.
We're trying to. I mean, it's as updated as possible.
Right.
And obviously that might happen. It's always happened that way. And but we're very, very, very thorough. People love it. We got all 12 colleges.
Right. And and this is also Lee's 25th year, so
Yeah.
the silver anniversary.
I
This
know.
year, 25 years.
We didn't have enough room because of printing and everything going up to put another 10 pages in there. So what me and Jace talked about is maybe doing a podcast about the 25 years, the covers.
Right. Right.
So we'll do that one day.
Yep.
And I'd rather save that for the video.
Yeah.
When
Absolutely.
we're going to do video soon. We're just I'm trying to wade through the water right now because some things, there's different rules now with the COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of like be completely open when we start video for
Right.
everybody, right? Guest, everyone. And
Yeah, and
Make
of course
sure.
we have we have the first All Louisiana team, but we also have the second and
Third.
like we've been doing.
we'll do
so
those on the site.
We'll do those on the site. So
Yeah, first team
Yep.
will be in the magazine. We just don't have room.
right,
I mean, the book could be 450 pages, but
yeah,
I don't have that kind of money to print 450 pages.
yeah,
But we do whatever we can to get it as big as we can. And but
Sure.
go to lafootballmagazine.com to pre-order. If you're a Lakeshore parent today, or any of the kids I met yesterday at any of the schools, you're going to be in the magazine unless you're new. I did meet some new guys that I had to tell them,
yeah,
you're not in the new one, but you're going to be in the next year. You're a junior. We're going to promote you if you're not. And I gave out over 500 magazines yesterday. It made me feel good to give these to these kids from last year. The 220, not the 221, the 220.
right,
And a lot of them like, oh, man, this is cool, and
mm-hmm.
my team's in it. I'm like, yeah, your team's in it from last year, and LSU and all the schools.
Yep.
So thanks to every coach and every athletic director and all the kids. I really had a good time on the North Shore. I couldn't go to every school in the North Shore.
yeah,
So I'm sure St. Paul's and Mandeville, but on purpose, I went to a lot of the smaller schools this time.
yeah. Get some recognition, and
Yeah.
the coaches obviously love that for their kids, and like you mentioned, that you're doing something that nobody else is really doing right now, just going to all the high schools and catching up with the guys before the grind, during the grind, and getting ready for the season coming up. And there's going to be a couple jamborees probably 2 weeks away. So
Some next week.
some next week. So we're getting down to right to the very start of it.
Tell you how committed I was, Jace, to going to these high schools. I had no time for failure between schools, meaning if I would have been delayed 30 minutes or had something happen, I would have never been able to do the 6 I wanted. And I had to start at 5 in the morning, and I couldn't go eat lunch somewhere. If I would have ate lunch somewhere, I would have missed a school. So I had an orange, and I ate on my orange for about 4 hours. I'd leave school, eat a piece of orange, put it back in, eat another piece of the same orange.
Yep.
And by 6 o'clock last night, a friend of mine, I want to give him kudos, Stan Hampton and his wife Lisa, that are from Baton Rouge. I've known Stan for years. He's a big LSU baseball fan. We used to call him Stan from Tigerland, Stan the Saints fan. He used to call in the radio shows, Jace, back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I went to eat with them, and I thought, I almost could eat a house. I mean, when you work all day like that,
Oh yeah.
you just don't stop, and I enjoyed it, man. I just enjoyed it, and We went and ate at an Italian place called Joe's. I want to give Joe's a plug.
Okay.
In Slaughter. One of the best places that I've ever eaten in my life. And but thank you to Stan, Hampton, and Lisa for helping me and being accommodating to be with me to put me on a place I didn't know where to go eat. You know?
Right.
And so, but hope everybody enjoyed the show. Again, pre-order your magazine.
Yes.
We will get the magazines in next week. Now, it might be the following Monday or the following early part of the week that you actually get them in the mail. But we'll get them in next week. We'll start packaging them. If you pre-ordered one 2 or 3 months ago, you're going to be one of the first ones to get it. We're not even going to put them in the stores until our people get them that ordered them off the site. You can get a digital south or north. And appreciate everybody that did order one. Thank you for supporting us, for helping you. And we're going to go ahead and sign out. Jace, any final thoughts?
No, just thanks for having me on, Lee. And, yeah, football season's right around the corner. And if you're, an LSU fan or, any of the other Louisiana colleges or high school fan, I mean, you can't go through the season without having your Louisiana Football Magazine copy. So it's a must-have for all Louisiana sports fans out there. So make sure to go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. When you go to the top, it will have Buy Magazine. So it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
So go to that link, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Appreciate everybody. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. And when we do our Monday show, we'll have another school that I went to from yesterday, and we'll let the kids and coaches know before it airs. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.